Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to get started in the next few minutes. I'm going to wait for a few more participants to log in. Me too. Again, everyone, we're just going to wait one more minute for any more participants to come up. If need be, we'll start in the next minute or so. Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Munira and Michael here from Tactical Marketing Lab. Thank you for attending today's webinar titled Your Social Media Prescription in 10 Easy Dosages. Today, we will discuss topics which are related to how and why social media usage can and will benefit your practice. Here on our content map, you'll see just a few topics of discussion, including the advantages of social media, and then follow through with an example of a real-life doctor who has seen major results from implementing social media usage. Furthermore, we will discuss the strategies and approaches to using social media. Additionally, we will also explore a few guidelines from the American Medical Association in regards to online behavior and privacy concerns. And in conclusion, we'll end off with a final thought. So there are many advantages you will come across when you start using and implementing social media in your practice and business. The first of which is reaching out to your target community. With the use of social media, you will be better able to contact a large number of your target market online rather than using traditional means. For example, you can write a single statement once and reach thousands of people at one time rather than having to repeat yourself several times. Furthermore, with the use of social media, you can also show more of a social side by building your online presence and online reputation. Also, the announcing of offers and promotions can become more efficient and effective by your ability to reach a large audience at one time. Finally, another overall advantage of social media is to help promote your website and overall business. This rotating cycle is our concept for the tools you will need along with the actions you will have to perform in order to succeed online. The first step is to build your profile and community base and then add in all your content. Next, you let social media do all the hard work by promoting your endeavors. The last step, which is our favorite step, is to see your return on investment, whether that be in increasing your patient base or a positive influence on your overall online reputation. Now let's talk about a living example of all the items we've discussed so far. Dr. Kevin Foe is an ordinary physician, but his online presence has made him quite extraordinary. He began blogging for pleasure, sharing links to healthcare resources, and to talk about the healthcare reform. He started using social media because he wanted to share the wealth of knowledge he possessed with pretty much his entire patient base, along with anyone else who was interested. A few months after he built his online presence, Dr. Foe, along with many other physicians nationwide, faced the issue of a drug recall called Vioxx. His office was flooded with calls from patients who were worried and wanted more information on why the drug had been recalled. So he decided to write a blog post which contained a great deal of information about the recall and what his patients would have to do next and what their best alternatives would be. He was able to inform and compose a large amount of patients at a very rapid rate. He then realized that his patients were overwhelmed, frustrated, and confused with the large amount of medical information available online. He wanted to capitalize on this realization and decided to become that reliable source of information for his patients through the use of social media. Now let's explore 5 of Dr. Fo's approaches to social media usage, and we will talk about each one as we progress through this presentation. The first approach to social media is to provide context. As we all know, medical stories are published every day, sometimes numerous times a day. Fo believes that social media is a powerful way for physicians to provide background and meaning to news items patients read and review. You will see here that on his Facebook profile page, he has shared links to his blog posts on his thoughts on the latest medical news discoveries. The source again here is Facebook. The second approach to social media usage is to dispel myths. As a medical professional, no one knows better than you that online health information can at times be medically and factually incorrect. Dr. Fo mentions that as leaders in the medical industry, physicians as well as medical professionals should dispel myths which are either found online or ones which come from a patient's mindset directly. You will see here again on Dr. Fo's Facebook profile page where he has shared a link on trying to dispel a myth which he came across online. Again, the source here is Facebook. The third approach to social media usage is to influence the healthcare debate. Fo cited that patients trust physicians regarding healthcare policies. By using social media networks to state their opinions on healthcare, physicians have a way to express their ideas and viewpoints, at the same time influence the formulation of policies which shape how medicine is practiced. You see here Fo's tweet, which is a short message one can post on Twitter, where he expresses his thoughts on a medical reform initiative. The source again here is Twitter. The fourth approach to social media usage is to connect with mainstream media. Experience with and on social media websites can provide physicians with skills they need to connect with mainstream media. Dr. Fo, for example, notes that writing on his blog gave him the confidence to write opinionated articles for larger mainstream news publications. He is now a member of USA Today's Board of Contributors. You see here where Fo has accredited his membership on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social network where professionals can connect with each other. And again, the source here again is LinkedIn. Moving on to the last or the fifth approach to social media usage is to hear what patients have to say. So social media gives patients a place to express their frustrations and concerns about healthcare and other medical news issues as well. By listening to patients' feedback on his blog, Fo was able to change the way he operated his medical facility, such as offering same-day appointments for healthcare screenings and procedures. And the source here is coming directly from his blog.
Now we're going to move on to 5 more advantages of social media, starting with massive exposure, then moving on to low cost, the fact that it's simple and flexible, that you can build better connections, and that you have a lot of measurability. Massive exposure. Over 60% of Americans have joined a social network, which include Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and now the very popular Pinterest. Facebook alone has over 150 million active users in the U.S., with over 600 million users worldwide. As of March 2012, estimates are that Twitter has reached over 500 million users, with 250 million of them considered very active. According to Pew Enter and American Life Project, 80% of Internet users have looked for information on health topics online, showing that people are out there looking for the information and in need for a resource that they know and trust, which could be you. Additionally, users between the ages of 35 and 55 years old are on the top of the increasing participants in social media, which also reinforces that it's not just the younger generations that are on the Internet. The mature and aging populations, which will have increasing need for medical care and information, are online and looking for the right connection. Also, Google search engine has picked up Facebook and Twitter messages and its results, which means that if you are actively engaging a current patient online and a friend of theirs is searching for a similar physician to yourself, the friend will see the conversation at the top of their search results, which will create an instant referral. We will be having some real-life examples and quotes during today's presentation, and here's the first one. It is a testimonial from Dr. Russell Faust, who says that between 30 and 50% of his new patients have reported finding him online, showing that the investment online is well worth the results. Moving on to low cost. Traditional media can be very expensive. Whether you're doing a traditional magazine, newspaper, or TV spot, traditional media is expensive with long lead times and lacks flexibility. Taking the Yellow Pages, for example. The Yellow Pages give you a free one-line ad, but if you want to get noticed, you have to pay. A tiny 1-inch ad could run in $2,500, or if you really want to get people to notice your business, a full-page ad could run in tens of thousands of dollars. Traditional media comes with a huge cost, and none of which guarantees that you will have any new business. While social media cannot guarantee that either, the cost is considerably lower, and since it's a referral business, friends recommending friends, there's a lot more than just the cost benefit involved. Now we're going to talk about the simplicity and flexibility of social media. Easy to use and simple to learn. All you need is a computer and an internet connection. You can use it yourself, or you can train your office assistant to keep tabs on it for you. You can get the message out there quickly and efficiently. If you're running a promotion, you have the flexibility to start it and end it online in a fast manner. Say that you're having a slow time of the year and want to get some extra bit of business in the door, you can announce a promotion on your social networks without having to wait for a traditional publication to print your ad. Lastly, unexpected things happen, and your patients can be informed instantly. In the case of severe weather, power outages, or if your doctor is unable to come into the office, you can give your patients a heads up on social networks. Now we're going to talk about better connections. Largely due to its interactive nature, social media provides doctors with incomparable opportunities to engage with their patients and further gain trust and reputation, which we all know is especially important in the medical industry. On one hand, social media is a primary resource for users looking for health information, but on the other, it is users looking to engage other users to build relationships. If you put yourself on social networks and engage your patients, you will create lasting relationships that will generate revenue from repeat patients and create a reputation that will help guide others towards you. Here is another great example of the power of social media. Dr. Natasha Burgett is quoted here saying, "I average one new patient family per week who comes because of social media presence," which equals to $140,000 additional income for her yearly. Imagine how much money your practice could bring in if you were online. Now let's talk about measurability. Traditional media has no measurable results. While there are some with coupon codes and knowing the amount of viewers that are going to be watching television on your ad goes live, there is not always a clear measure of how many people actually received your message. With social media, there are built-in analytics with Facebook, as well as information you can gain from using Google Analytics, which are both free services that are pretty intuitive and easy to use. You can see which of your posts are liked the most, shared, or even clicked to a destination that you specify. Your followers will tell you what they want to hear and what they are interested in instantly by the posts that get the most reactions. Over time, you'll be able to know your patients and by just simply what they are reacting to the most on your social networks. Our final quote is from Dr. Vanda Lerath, MD. She says that as many as a third of my patients are coming from social media. Again, the benefits from putting yourself online is extremely important and profitable. Now we're going to talk about three main American Medical Association guidelines on how physicians should interact on social networks. Ideas to live by so you don't cross any boundaries that shouldn't be. These guidelines are set up both to protect privacy of patients as well as the private life of the doctor. It's a delicate balance, but it can be achieved fairly simply with these easy guidelines. The first is doctors must be aware of the standards of patient privacy and secrecy, which must be maintained in all environments, including those which are made available online. Basically, to protect your patient's privacy, you should not engage in conversations online that would suggest a particular patient by discussing confidential information that would make them identifiable. If a patient wants to engage about personal matters, it is best to direct them to an email address or phone number that can discuss their concerns privately. You can start the conversation online and then finish it up in private. Next, when doctors interact with patients through an online portal, they must maintain the correct boundaries of the patient-physician relationship to conform to that of the guidelines of the HIPAA and other such ethical policies and procedures. You want to make sure you engage your patients online and followers as a representative of your practice and as a professional. The key to building relationships is to be friendly and appropriate. You also want to make sure not to disclose any information that is protected under the HIPAA laws. Last, privacy settings should be used to safeguard personal information for both the medical parties and their prospective patients. You also want to protect yourself and make sure your private profile remains private. Don't ever engage patients on your personal profile because it may open yourself up to conversations that might be considered inappropriate to professional standards. Even though the online platform is a casual environment, you must never forget that you are still expected to behave as if you were in a professional setting.
Let's go for a final class now. Okay. You should embrace new ways to communicate with your patients in order to gain lasting ties with them through social media. So all in all, use social media to build a positive online and offline reputation for yourself. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. We're going to pass the floor over to you all for any questions or concerns you may have. You can go ahead and just say them directly, or you can actually type them in the Q&A session. Any questions, any concerns from anyone? Okay. Again, thank you very much for attending this webinar today. It's been brought to you by Tactical Marketing Lab. Complimentary sign-up for our next webinar will be available soon at www.tacticalmarketinglabs.com. Thank you so very much again.